Did we just get our first real tease of what Spyro might look like in the upcoming Spyro 4? Let's talk about it! What's up guys, Canadian Guy here, and I am back after a very tiresome, but very fun Spyro Community Day. This is the one day a year where we all get to celebrate Spyro and its incredible fans. The day was so successful that even the official Spyro Twitter account and Toys for Bob participated. But Toys for Bob went a step further than just celebrating. They dropped some brand new, amazing art. Here it is. We see Spyro flying, a big number 27, and the artisan's homeworld in the background of the 27. The tweet reads, "Any friend of Spyro the Dragon is a friend of ours. Happy 27th anniversary." And it's sealed with the hashtag Spyro Community Day hashtag. Now, on the surface, this just seems like a nice anniversary post, but if you dig a little deeper, there is way more going on here. Let's start with Spyro himself. Looking at this art, your first thought might be, this is the new design for Spyro 4, especially when you compare it to the final concept art from the Reignited trilogy. His nose is a bit wider, the shape of his horns are different, his eye color is tweaked. Overall, the design feels adjusted. But here's the thing, over the years, several artists who have worked on the modern take of Spyro have drawn him slightly differently. Nick Cole's art has been seen as the de facto design for Spyro Reignited, but artists like Rob Dunas, Dev Madan, and Nicola Saviori also had their own unique takes. Of course, they are all extremely similar, but the small differences are there. And that brings us to this new piece. It turns out the legend himself, Nicola Saviori, worked on it. And this style looks very similar to the Spyro that we saw in the banner cosmetic for Crash Team Rumble, which was recycled art from the remnants of what was slated to be Crash Bandicoot 5. So, is this the official new Spyro design, or is it just Nicola's signature take on the character? Honestly, the answer is inconclusive for now. Right now, if there was anything new added to Spyro's look for the new Spyro game, even if it was subtle, it may be indistinguishable by Nicola's style. But that connection to Nicola is another huge piece of the puzzle. Earlier this year, we reported that Josh Nadelberg had returned to Toys for Bob as an art director. Why is that a big deal? Josh was the art director for both Spyro Reignited Trilogy and Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. And who else worked on both of those games? Nicola Saviori. It seems like Toys for Bob is, piece by piece, reassembling at least some of the dream team that brought us the last Spyro and Crash games. And this makes perfect sense when you look at the bigger picture. Toys for Bob is newly independent, but is partnering with Microsoft. The head of Xbox, Phil Spencer, has been very public about allowing Activision-based studios to work on classic Activision franchises. Not only does Toys for Bob's current project have them working with Xbox, but Activision as well. And what project are they working on? Like I've said so many times before, even if you exclude my report from March 2024, all signs point to a new Spyro title. But sometimes the biggest clue isn't what gets posted, it's what doesn't. September 9th, 2025 was Spyro Community Day and Spyro's 27th anniversary. But you know who else had a big anniversary on that day? Crash Bandicoot. It was his 29th. Did Toys for Bob say anything about him? No, not a word. Now, think about that. Their last two projects were Crash Team Rumble and Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, yet they were completely silent about Crash's anniversary. Now, Toys for Bob's social media presence, which we will look at in a second, is quite slim. I don't think them not saying anything about Crash is them leaving Crash out in the cold necessarily. I think it's a quiet statement of the direction they are taking with their studio and its new North Star, a purple one at that. Now, let's take a look at Toys for Bob's entire social media presence. Since they announced that they were going independent back in February 2024, they have been almost radio silent. In a year and a half, they have made a grand total of 7 posts. You want to know when they last posted before this new Spyro art? You have to go all the way back to September 7th, 2024, which was in fact last year's Spyro Community Day. Toys for Bob only seems to become active when the topic is Spyro the Dragon. Why do you think that is? To me, the answer is as clear as crystal. Or in this case, as clear as a gem. And on top of all of that, the official Spyro account itself posted for the first time since December 2024 to, you guessed it, celebrate Spyro Community Day. Now, let's take a look at that Spyro art one more time. I've gone over it quite a number of times, and you know, I just can't seem to find any kind of cryptic evidence. I mean, typically Toys for Bob likes to sneak something into their art pieces, but this time it doesn't seem like they're... Speaking of cryptic hints, a recent post from a gaming executive inspired me to think about new features for Spyro 4, which led to a whole video about how the game could have an adventure co-op mode. If you want to hear my thoughts about that, you can check out this video right here. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Bye-bye!